Let's get comfortable and sit for a moment. See if we can bring ourselves to a very quiet place. So if there's things around you that are distracting, see if you can move them away for a moment. No televisions, no radios, no cell phones going off. People in your house have moved to other rooms to leave you alone for just an hour. That's all you've asked for. Take a slow, deep breath into your body. And then as you exhale, feel your skin everywhere, from the top of your head all the way down to your toes. Feel that outer covering begin to soften. So there are places where it gets tight and bound and held. Let's see if we can loosen it up. Almost as if we had been wearing a shirt or some clothing that was a little too tight, and you could feel it everywhere you moved. I can't even lift my arms, the shirt is so tight. But it's now one size up. And so it no longer clenches your body. You feel relaxed in this covering. And once the covering is relaxed, it's simpler. You have more availability to create that internal lift. And then as you move the shoulder bones back, you can feel the shoulder blades moving towards each other. And then they move down. And then your chest lifts. And so it all happens together, everything affecting the other. And then those lower abdominals. We know from our experience in the practices of yoga that when we create that lift of the lower abdominals, it gives us more power. And in a class like the one tonight, we'll want to have that power available to us. As you exhale again, feel the buttock bones not only press downward, but actually growing roots into the earth. So that we feel well grounded. When we're doing our standing postures tonight, we would like to feel very connected, very grounded into the earth. And that feeling will help us with our stability, our balance, our stamina. And for a few moments, deepen your breath. Begin to fuel your body. Fuel the body for this experience, for this journey. And then release that, slip back into your quiet, soft breathing, and then bring your hands up to your heart. We understand the powerful beings that we are. We can achieve much more than the mind believes it can. So we'll move through this practice, tapping into the wisdom of that inner light and trusting that it knows when to cue us to wait, this is not for you. Pause. That intuitive thought of, I shouldn't do this. Not the egoic mind, but your inner light, your inner wisdom. And the same goes for the opposite. You can challenge yourself a little bit more, that inner light will say. Don't give up. Try 2, 3 more breaths. And now, with that understanding, exhale by your head. Release your hands and open your eyes. And then lift the head. Raise your arms up, inhale, interweave the fingers and turn the palms to the sky. Bow your head. Hand and release. Twist to your right. And release. Twist to your left. Release. And then bring your legs out in front of you, pump your thighs. Yeah, let's get the legs ready. And so we'll get a little warm up in the shoulders, a little warm up in the spine, and then the hips, and we'll just go with it, have a lot of fun. A little Baddha Konasana. I think out of everything, the most challenging will be, working with the shoulders because of the challenges that we have in our culture with our shoulders. So do be mindful and remember that when the shoulders are forward and you try to make movements, it creates impingement here where there's a little hook from your scapula that drops. It's on the top of the shoulder bone called the acromial process, but you don't have to write that down. But if we don't adjust the shoulder girdle, if we don't pay attention to, like if we're doing a push-up, to that position, whether you feel it, just think, chest open, shoulder blades down together. That will help hold you in that correct position. So if you don't do that, you, create that impingement, and then you'll end up, if you don't have a sore shoulder, you might end up making it sore. So we have to pay attention to how we hold ourselves. Now let's go ahead, stretch your legs out again and come into downward facing dog. So I'll remind you. Okay, downward facing dog. Now remember, we want to do a few things at first to kind of get the blood pumping, to get the joints lubricated. So let's hold the dog pose for a few breaths and alternately bend our knees and press the opposite foot to the floor. That'll help lengthen the backs of your legs. It's also asking you to warm the shoulders up by contracting the muscles that hold the shoulder girdle in place. Now lift the head and on the exhale, step forward into the forward bend. And then inhale, up you come. Let's just do a few shoulder warm-ups before we go into like the up dog and down dog. So let's do some shoulder rolls. Very simple, we're just getting the things moving. And it's more than just a shoulder roll. It's also the shoulder blade in the back. It's going up and down and up and down. And then we go the other way, up and down, up and down. And it's also widening and coming together, widening and coming together. Good. And then lift the arms up. Inhale and exhale down and take them back. And inhale up and exhale, take them back. And as you're doing this, you're doing it in your range of movement. So full, what we call shoulder flexion, full, what we call extension. Flexion, extension. And you don't have to learn anatomy right now, but we're just reminding you that this is the going through the full range. And then we change it and do out and up. So this is what we call anatomically abduction when the arms are up, and adduction when the arms come down. Two more times. One more time. Big inhale on the way up, exhale on the way down. And now hold your arms by your side like this, and just go in and out, in and out. So the elbows stay relatively in the same position. You're moving the shoulder bone, internal rotation, external rotation. So this is the other two movements that the shoulder does. So you'll see me take one arm on top when I come in, and then switch into the other arm. Okay, internal, external. Exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale. Two more times. One and two. And now let's see, let the arms relax. Do you feel ready? We can do anything. Up dog and down dog, because that's going to help the spine get a little warm, right? As well as continue the hips and the shoulder warm. So let's see. Let's do it 6 times. Since we're going to do so many up dogs and so many down dogs, let's just save the energy for some other fun things. So inhale, up dog, exhale, down dog. You can always put your knees down when you come into the up dog and just do like a cobra with the arms straight. That may be a modification that helps you, or you could just put the knees down and do a cow pose. Okay. And one more time. And release. So now, what we'll do is go into the up dog. So down dog, up dog, plank, down dog. So it's just 4 poses. And well, down dog is repeated. So once you have done that a few times, you may have to come down and rest. And remember, you can always put your knees down on the plank. But it'll go like this if you want to watch one time. We'll start with the down dog. Come into the upward dog. Come into the plank and hold it. So you'll come into the plank on the exhale, sorry. Hold it for the inhale and then push back into downward facing dog on the inhale. So it goes, exhale. I got the breath wrong. I'll do it again. Here we go. Inhale, exhale, hold, inhale, exhale. Up dog, exhale, plank. Inhale, hold, exhale, down dog. Inhale, up dog. Use your abdominal muscles to lift you into the plank. Hold the plank and push back. Inhale into up dog. Exhale into plank. Inhale, hold the plank. Exhale, downward dog. And we'll do it 2 more times. Inhale into up dog. Exhale into plank. Hold the plank. Inhale, exhale, down dog. And we have 1 more time. This will be getting us warm. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, plank. Inhale, hold the plank. Exhale, down dog. And then you have to come down and rest. And when you're coming down, it's okay to let your body want to, if it says child's pose, then go and rest in child's pose. If you want to stand up and just do Tadasana, or if you want to sit in Vajrasana like I am, and just let your arms rest a moment, because when you're challenging a body part, it needs a little rest in between the practices. Now let's see. Yes, I just was scanning and thinking of the people that were in the class tonight. I think you'll all be fine with this. It's we don't like it when you laugh. It'll be fine. I can't even see you, so if you don't even do it, I won't know. But it's arms reach up, that's Urdhva forward bend. And you'll start at the back of your mat. And you're gonna walk into the downward facing dog, right into a plank. So you pass through dog, go into plank, and then you come all the way down if you're gonna do Chaturanga Dandasana. But we're gonna go to the floor lift our hands up, put the hands back down, push back into the plank, back into the dog, walk the hands back, stand up with the arms reaching up, and repeat. That's a lot. And we'll move through it slowly, but it should be a fun, creative, challenging practice. Let's try it. I'll do it with you to show it can be done. Okay, mountain. Oh, this will probably be the only time we do mountain because we'll always come back to here. Reach the arms up and exhale forward bend, right? You might have to bend the knees. You got to get your hands on the floor. There are no props with this. Walk your hands out. See, you're walking right through the down facing dog and go right into the plank. That's where you inhale and exhale, down you come. When you land, lift your hands up off the floor for a second. Put the hands back down. Inhale. Exhale. Push into the plank and push back to down facing dog on that one exhale. Walk your hands back. And then inhale up. And you go right back and repeat. Hands down. Walk, walk, walk. Plank. Chaturanga. Hands up. Inhale. Exhale. Walk back, 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 back. And then inhale. Reach your arms up. Exhale. Forward. Bend. Walk, walk, walk. There's dog, there's plank. All the way down. Lift your hands. Inhale. Exhale. Plank. To walk back to dog. Walk, 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 walk. Standing up and reaching up. Oh, what do we do? How many more? 100? I'll vote after this one. I bet you're hanging in there pretty good. Let's do it one more time. Here's the last one. Walk, 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 walk. Plank, chaturanga, lift your hands, and then push back right into down facing dog. Well, and don't forget this one. You can practice this one tomorrow on your own. It's a really good one. It really challenges the upper body because it's not only just doing something statically, but the walking your hands and moving it makes it more like a functional activity. Something that you might have to do at some time, like crawling under your house or something. Okay, now let's get into some standing poses and work on leg strength. Now, what I'd like for us to do at first is some of the postures will hold and some of them will move in and out of. So we're doing static practices and dynamic practices. Let's start with Virabhadrasana 2 because I think it's always a really good place to begin. And when you do Virabhadrasana 2, try to have your stance wide enough so that when you bend that knee, and we'll go to the right first, that knee is pretty good. Because if I do Warrior 2 like this, and we talked about this, so you know, I can hold this until 10 p.m. But if I take my feet really wide to challenge myself and get that thigh bone very close to it, it's not even close right now, but you know what I'm talking about. If we get there, then I'm going to have to really work. And it's not just the bent leg, the back leg has to work to help the front leg. Let's do it. I'm feeling pretty eager and excited about this. Bend the knees, and on the inhale, step wide. Look at that wide stance. Yeah, go for it. Go ahead, turn your left foot and your right leg out. Inhale, and exhale, bend that knee. Now, alignment is so important. Make sure your knee has not come towards the computer screen and that your hip has not gone to the wall behind you. So that when you look at that thigh bone, right there, that inner thigh bone, it is parallel to the computer screen. Then your spine is parallel to the two sides of the room and the shoulder blades are dropping down the back and gaze over your right fingertips. Now from all of that, at that point, we'll take, that was one breath. Let's see, can we do 8? And this is my 8th breath. As I'll inhale, come up and turn the legs forward. Left foot in, right leg down. If you're trying to challenge your arms, you lead them up. But if they need a break, let your hands rest. Inhale and exhale, bend the left knee now. Let's try that one and see if we can get it. on board. Again, look, let's make sure that inner thigh is parallel to your computer screen and not falling forward. And then your torso is parallel to the two walls, not leaning one side shorter than the other. And gaze over your fingertips. And now that we're there, and I've rattled on about the same amount of time as I did on the other side, we can now count our 8 breaths. Maybe 8 was too short. Don't you think we could have held it longer? Inhale up, turn your feet forward, bend your knees, inhale and exhale, let your arms come down your side. Good, and we'll rest for a moment. Let's do Utkatasana, the chair pose, which is really, Utka means powerful or fierce. But because it looks like we're sitting on the chair, that's why they call it chair pose. So let's get ready. Oh, and I'll do it sideways because I want you to remember that you want to bend the knees forward and the hips back. Raise your arms and don't stick your ribs out. Don't lose the integrity of your spinal lift. And on the exhale, that's when you bend the knees and bend the hips. Your legs should be together, by the way. If your legs are not together, go ahead and wiggle them close, or you should squeeze a block. And now let's see, what shall we do? Let's try 10 breaths. There was 1. 7. That was my number 9. You got to finish 10. You got to do the whole breath and then come out and rest your arms by your side. Good. Well, thank you for hanging in there with me. So now let's do more dynamic leg strengthening. We'll do triangle to half moon, but we'll go in and out, back and forth. Now this is a little tricky because you have to actually watch the leg that you're transitioning over. So I want you to see it from this point of view before I turn and face the camera. So I'm in triangle pose, and you know the rule. You step the left foot back forward a little bit, and then you come up and you do the half moon, and then you come down, and that knee should not venture in and out. So it's really about focus on this leg. So I'm coming in and coming out because a lot of times, that foot wants to do that. So the knee is off on its own world. And it's not just the knee, it's the hip also. So let's see. Let's place our mats, blocks on the mat. That gives us a chance to catch our breath, right? We're setting things up. Good. On the inhale, this part we've got triangle. It feels good to just stay there for a moment and stretch the legs and open the chest. Now this arm, we won't need. You can keep the arm up or you can put the hand on the hip, it won't matter. And we won't be holding half moon, we're just going to go in and out. So bend the right knee and step the left foot up and move your hand out. So about a foot. So now you've got everything, you scoot back just a little bit so that I can have my block in the right place. Watch that right knee and begin. It's up and down. Half moon, step back. Half moon, step back. And you can feel all of the leg muscles working. The quadricep, the hamstring, the gluteus, everything. They're either concentric or eccentric. They're either lengthening contractions or shortening contractions. But everybody's working together. after a while, the right leg will begin to burn a little bit or feel like it's being worked. So somewhere, and I bet you're counting too, between 10 and 12 repetitions, that's when we'll finally say, okay, that feels like I've worked that leg. So I'm going to come back to triangle pose and then inhale up and turn my legs forward. Let's just take a little rest for a moment and feel that right leg. Yeah, that feels like it worked a little bit. Other side, right foot and left leg out. Triangle pose. This is the easy part, right? Hand on hip, look down. Bend the knee and take that block out. And we're ready. We're set up. So up and down. The left foot and the left hand don't have to move. All that happens is you put the weight over the left leg and come up, and then you go back down. So somewhere around here is where we begin to tell it, oh, I think I'm doing something. And you still have to pay attention to your left foot, your left knee, and your left hip. Everything needs to stay in the right place to the proper alignment. If the hip pops out behind you, if the knee falls forward, if the foot turns in, those things will all cause the muscles of your leg to have to compensate and work incorrectly, and therefore that will also affect the joints. Let's do, well, I'm going to do one more. I don't know where you are, so I'm going to do one more and come back to triangle pose. And then inhale up. Turn the feet forward, bend the knees, inhale, and exhale, step the feet together, arms by side. And sometimes when you reach that point, that was very dynamic, so you can tell that your heart gets to start beating, you can feel that you've worked a little bit. You might want to just do child's pose, stand in Konasana and rest, or you can even do a forward bend. So I'm going to take a forward bend, feet hip distance apart, deep inhalation, and exhale. Just stretch the back out. Let my head and neck relax. And then bend the knees a little bit and inhale up. Now I know. You're thinking that was so fun, Terry. I like moving in and out of poses. Give us something else that we could do similarly. I do have one I like. I hope that you like it. But there's a pose called Malasana, or the garland pose, where you go all the way down into a squat and you come back up. But the first order of business is, because we need to go down and come back up multiple times, and of course you have to respect your knees and your ankles. But sometimes when we go down, like if we put our hands here like prayer and we go down into Malasana, sometimes the heels come up. So it's a good idea to help with stability if you put something under the heels. So you might have another mat you could roll. You could even roll this one up. Or you could use a blanket. Now blankets, it just depends. If they're pretty firm, they may work. So if I took that edge and I put it under my heels and then I stood on it, and I'm gonna look at my feet slightly turning out. And you can even have the feet a little wide, it helps. Because in the classical pose, the feet are together, but in the earlier stages, you can have the feet apart. And that way when I go down, I can be between my knees like this. Now, let's say I have a knee issue. So I'm going to this would be me with a knee issue. I'm going to keep my hands here, come down and go back up. Come down and go back up. But for those of us that don't have a knee issue, we can go all the way down to Malasana, the full Malasana pose, or at least the variation full, and then come back up. Let's make a goal to do 10. So we'll go down and back up. Let's use the exhale as power to get up. Let's try it. Inhale. Here we go. Big exhale, like a rocket pushing up to standing. Down. Exhale, come up. Malasana. Tadasana. Malasana, Tadasana. Okay, now I think that's number 5. But we can, what if it was number 6? That'd be okay. We'll just do an extra one. So that would be my 6. And here's number 7. And my number 8, I'm pretending in case I'm wrong. 9, I don't know when you watch the video because this guy's got no sense at all. But shouldn't it all be fun anyway? That was 10. Some of you are thinking that was too easy. So 11, for those of us who want just a little bit more. Some of you have stopped and you're resting. And then there's 12. And some of us are going for 15. Let's do it. 13. And we can't stop at 13. No, it's 14. Oh my, we're gonna make it. And 15. Oh, let's do rest now. Step the feet. This hand position is only for dear powers that be, help me through that, right? And rest your arms by your side. Oh, we have to do some other things now. So the legs will get a little rest. Let's go ahead and do some of our core exercises. When you look at classical yoga poses that are for abdominal strengthening, there's a little bit of, for our bodies today, some of that is really kind of challenging, and it's hard, like for the boat pose variations, or boat pose and variations, for us to really get the back of the body lifted well when the back body is weak and we're trying to strengthen the front body. So we can actually, I think, sort of do adaptations and variations, take the message of the boat pose and do it a little different. So let's try this. This is what I mean. I'm going to take my arms behind me like this and lean back. So my upper body is like boat pose would be if I were actually doing the pose. But remember, I'm sure you've been in classes where they taught that. You have to keep the sacrum lifted in and up and the thoracic spine in and up. And that just fatigues so much, so fast for some of us that we don't have a chance to strengthen the core. But if I lean back on my arms, and I've got my hands pretty wide, so look wide, to really support me, I can let the arms be like pillars that will then support me so I can focus on these lower abdominals. And then, instead of holding it like the boat pose, like a posture, we can just lift. And once again, let's do the lift on the exhale. But let me tell you something very important. This is a focus practice. If I just lift my legs like this mindlessly, I'll probably just be using my hip flexors. So I actually want to concentrate and focus on using my lower abdominals. So I think about the muscles I want to help me lift the legs. So it looks like this. As I exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale. And I'm not just doing it mindlessly. I'm trying to make those lower abdominal muscles contract. And you're seeing mostly just the lower legs. And you can feel the hip flexors. That's just, we're going to call those synergistic muscles that are helping out. What we really want to be doing the work are those lower abdominals. Let's do 3 more. 3 exhales. 1, 2, and the last one, 3. Good. Okay, now sit, and if you can shake your hands out, roll your shoulders around, do anything you need to do for your upper body to have a little break. But now what about the obliques? What about the obliques? I can see the messages and the emails and the text. What about that? So we can actually take this very same practice and sort of bring the knees to the side. You see? Back and forth. So instead of a straight coming up, they sort of go off to the side. And that activates the internal and the external obliques. When I bring my knees over this way to the right, my right, I'll be contracting the right internal oblique and the left external oblique. And we just can't do one side. We have to go into the other side or we won't be matching. So let's see. For the first round, we might do this one more than once, but let's give it the All-American High School try and do a practice round of 5 each. So that means we have to count to 10 to get it done. Okay, inhale. Let's go to the right first. Inhale. Exhale. Just a little. Out you go. A little. Out you go. Here we go. That's 3, 4. This is on an exhale. 5, 6, 7, 8. Don't forget, you gotta focus. 9, and 10. And then rest. That was really relatively easy. But I don't want to over challenge anybody. So why don't we try, let's just go for it. We'll shoot for 20, which will be 10 on each side. And you stop anywhere along the way. And if I'm the only one doing them by myself, I won't know it, but I just hope you enjoy watching. Or maybe you can go make a cup of tea and come back so you don't have to watch me, because I'm sure it's pretty boring. But here we go. So we'll call this the Parshva Navasana, boat over to the side. Here we go. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. That's 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale. 7, 8, 9. Oh my goodness, we're halfway there already. 10. Oh, 11, 12, 13, 14. Oh, look at that, 3/4 of the way. 16, 17, 18. Oh, I can really feel it in the abdominals. I can feel it in the hip flexors too. But because I focus on this, and I've been doing this so long, I can actually, some people say, I don't get it, I can't do it. And I understand completely. It is hard to sometimes make that mind-body connection, but just keep working on it. Now, we need to do something for the upper abs. And we'll also, once again, do something a little bit safer than the boat pose. But let's do a bridge pose and just sort of stretch this out. First, that feels nice, doesn't it? Okay, and since we're here, we'll just stay. But you might want to at least peep up and see what I'm going to do. I'm going to let my body, my lower body, stay on the floor. And I'm just going to lift my upper body as high as it will go and give it a squeeze when I get up. Now, I don't want my neck or my throat muscles, anything to strain, so I hold the head. So I'm going to call this the top part of the boat pose, but done repeatedly. So as I exhale, I come up and I'm not using my hands at all. I don't pull my head. I just contract these upper abdominal muscles and squeeze and then come down. That was 1. So go ahead and do your number 1 and then come with me. Exhale, squeeze, and go back down. That was 2. 3, and squeeze, and come down. 4, and squeeze, and down you come. And up, and squeeze, and down you come. Now, sometimes, as we do this, and down you come, you're starting to feel like you need to stop. Well, I would recommend that. You can do some things like this and end up making you nauseated if you keep pushing through it. But the rest of us can do a couple more. Let's go ahead and shoot for 3 more. I'm not really sure what the number is. I lost count, but I'm going to do 1 more after this. I hope you understand that too, and you can rest now. How you're going to come up, you're going to use your abdominal muscles to lift you up, but then you give them that squeeze, which sometimes it feels like they don't squeeze, they don't have any extra oomph. And we say, that's okay, just keep trying, and you'll get them stronger. Now, let's progress to doing some back exercises now for the body. So let's go ahead, because we've done some front, we've done some legs, so we'll do some back stuff. Let's just start with all 4s. That's very simple, and everyone can do it. And I'll put a blanket down. And then we'll do the Shalabhasana variations, because that's really one of my favorite ways of strengthening the back. And I've said this before, that's what saved me. One of the poses that saved me from my back issues from years ago. So now, just with breath, we're not even going to hold it. It's right leg, left arm on an inhale, and down on an exhale. Left leg, right arm on an inhale, and down on the exhale. Lift, inhale. So now it changes, the breath cues change, don't they? We were exhaling to lift with the abdominals, but now that we're doing back stuff, we're lifting on the inhale. So 3 times. That'll warm you up. And it also gives you a variation. Now let's stretch that back out. Three arm positions. Number one, the arms will be by the side. And we're going to go up and down. We're not going to hold it statically, but we could. But we're going to go up and down 6 times. Then number two, we'll rest. And then number two, the arms will be in this position. This is a great practice when we're trying to strengthen the upper back because so many of us have tight internal rotators from sitting and standing. You can see people look at them when they're resting, their hands are here instead of here. So tight internal rotation. So this is the counter that's strengthening the muscles of external rotation. And then third, making the lever arm as long as possible. So the back and shoulder muscles have to work extremely hard. So let's begin. And we'll do 6 of each. I'm going to take this blanket and put my forehead on it, but I'm going to keep it skinny. So I fold it narrow, and then I put it here just for my forehead. Like that. That way, when I get to this point, my arms are ready. I don't have to change my blanket. Arms by the side, palms face the hips. Make your pelvis, draw the back of the pelvis towards the heels to make the low back long. 6 repetitions. Inhale, lift. Exhale, down. Inhale, lift. Exhale, down. Inhale, lift. Exhale, down. Inhale, lift. I think this is 5. And so this next one would be number 6. And let's rest. And now we're ready for the goalpost, or 99. I call it 99 because the elbows are at 90 and the shoulder joint is at 90 from the torso. And then if there's any discomfort, just fine tune and make adjustments until you don't feel discomfort. Let's do this. Make the low back long. Inhale, lift. Exhale, down. Inhale, lift. Exhale, down. Inhale, lift. Exhale, down. And 2 more. I'm sorry, let's do 3 more. So we'll do this one. And then 1 for the road. And then rest. And then the one with the arms reaching out here by the blanket and have the palms face each other. You have this incredibly long lever arm now. So that means that the upper back muscles are going to have to work a little extra hard to get those arms up off the floor. If something doesn't work, if this is uncomfortable, go back to the other side or just contract the muscles that would lift your arms without worrying about them coming up. We'll just all do the best we can. Let's do it. Low back long. Adjust the pelvis. And here, inhale, lift. 2. 3. 4. 5. And 6. And then put your hands beneath your shoulders and come back to child's pose. Just stretch it all out and rest. Oh, wonderful. So now let's do a little tricep exercise for the arms, because we did do some tricep and chest stuff, and we did those planks and shuttle when we were walking the arms out and coming back, all that stuff. But I want to get the arms behind us and work the tricep a little bit more. So what I'm going to recommend we do is just put our hands up on these blocks that are this level. That is, if here or here, they could tip over. So we're just going to put the blocks like this. See? And the fingers will just drape off the edge. So they don't have to worry about the big intense stretch in the forearm, because when the fingers stretch out flat like this, if you take the hand back, then you get a lot of wrist stretch, but this can lighten the wrist stretch. And if this is really difficult for you, you could actually move to a chair, put the heel of the hand on the chair seat, and it'll be a lot easier and you'll be up higher. I'm staying low to make it challenging. I'm going to get you started, and then I'm going to show you what you can do with the chair too. But let's get you started. So I've got one hand on one block, one on the other, and it'll be like doing almost like a backwards push-up. So you lift the hips a little bit, and you begin to bend the elbows and straighten. Bend the elbows and straighten. And up that, you can feel the triceps after a few times. So I'm going to stop at my fifth one, but you keep going. Okay, so I'm going to stop so that I can show easier variation. And if you don't have a chair like this, you can always just use a kitchen chair or a sofa, or hang on to the arm of a sofa and do it. So now it's a little bit easier. Yeah, my dogs love this one. They get excited every time I do tricep dips. Good. I don't have no idea what he's excited about. He is supposed to be shut up inside without a view of the outside world. Okay, what have we got left to do? We did so much stuff. We did a lot, didn't we? There is one more thing that I think is very important that helps with posture, and that's to do exactly what we were just doing. We were doing tricep dips, and I don't know how many did. I was hoping that you could do about 10. But then if you go back up and you hold it, do a static contraction. That's also very beneficial for the triceps and the upper back muscles, because you try to lift your chest while you're doing it. So you've got those muscles going down the back and together. This is really one of my favorite ways to help with the practices of yoga. We're going to depend on yoga to help us get stronger in the upper back, so we're not always like this. So let's do that. And we can straighten the legs, and we can just keep the knees bent like this. But notice I've got my fingers off again. That way the wrists are not so overstretched. And then you just lift up like this. So now I've got to contract the arm muscles to hold the elbow straight, but I'm using my upper back muscles to help lift my upper chest. Now you can look up at the ceiling, let the throat open, or if your neck doesn't like that, look straight ahead over your torso. And just stay there as best you can. Let's stay here if you're there with me still, you might have come down by now. But let's stay for 4 more breaths. 1, 2, 3. And the last one is 4. Good. Okay, I know what you're thinking too. I was thinking the same thing. What if we really wanted to strengthen the gluteus maximus muscle a little bit more? One of my favorite poses to do that with is bridge. It's like you can lift the hips up and lower, but to make it more challenging, we take one leg and we lift it. So let's get into a good bridge. Now you have to watch me if you need a visual first before you lie down, because once you lie down and you tuck your shoulders under, remember, you cannot look over at me. You could strain your neck. So I could hold my hands or grip the mat or hold it up and get the shoulders underneath. To do this, you want to bring the feet together. And then you just lift one leg, and then you come down and push up. So the leg that's doing the left leg, when the right leg is up, you're going to feel the gluteus maximus of the left leg work the most. So go ahead and join me. So the left buttock is getting its work in. I'm going to do about 3 more. And then switch sides. And again, be like if I had any sort of knee issue, ankle issue, or low back issue, I could do very small movements and just sort of find that range that works for me, that doesn't allow me to have any discomfort or increase my discomfort. This is really a good back extension exercise as well as glutes and hamstrings. I'm sure that you're feeling it because I stretch your hand and then you put the feet down and release. Oh, that feels good. Let's bring the knees to the chest and give ourselves a big hug. Oh, you know, we should repeat that one. That one was too good. That bears repeating. So here we go. Somewhere between 6 and 10. That'll be a good number. Go ahead, tuck the shoulders under. Let's do the right leg first again. By the way, the right knee can be bent. If you're very tight in the hamstrings, don't worry about it. Just as long as the leg is lifted, down and up you go. Inhale, exhale. Down on the inhale, press up on the exhale. 4, I think it's about 4. Some of you may have already stopped and are taking a little break, and that'll be fine. And now we'll switch sides. So that left leg got that nice contraction, feels worse, and it gets a break, and I'm now going to do the other side. This is my number 3, 4, and here's my number 9 and 10. And down I come. Good, and a big hug again. A big hug for having done a lot of things for the body and making it stronger. So let's go ahead now and set up for Shavasana. If there's anything, because we did do a lot of muscular stuff that led to muscle contractions, anything you want to do that makes your body feel more relaxed, like rocking or knees to chest or a hamstring stretch, if there's something you feel like you want to do as a finishing pose, please feel free, and then get organized and set it up for Shavasana. And I'll be checking in on you in just a few moments. Take a slow, deep breath into your body. And then let the exhale soften you just that little bit much more. Then bend the knees and do the gentle rocking. And then roll all the way to your right side. Use your hands. Push into the floor and come to sit. And then bring your hands up to your heart. May every day be filled with love and light and laughter. Namaste.